Hello and welcome to my channel Chemistry Central. Today we are going to learn about molecular symmetry and group theory. Symmetry is just a relationship between parts of an object with respect to size, shape and position. To understand this, just consider an optical disc. If we imagine a point in the center of the disc, we will find that the edge of the disc in any direction is at the same distance from its center. That means it possesses a center of symmetry. We can also cut the disc into two equal halves which are mirror images of one another, which means that it also possesses a plane of symmetry. In other words, we can say that it is symmetrical with respect to a plane. The examples of symmetry are found all around us. It can be found in man-made objects like a pen, a chair, or may be present in natural things like a butterfly or even in humans. In chemistry, the molecule also possess these symmetry properties, and the symmetry relationships in their molecular structure provide us the basis for a mathematical theory called group theory. In group theory, as the name suggests, we divide the molecules based on the symmetry properties in certain groups known as point groups. These symmetry properties are known as symmetry elements and symmetry operations. What are the difference between symmetry element and symmetry operations? Symmetry element is a geometrical entity such as a point, a line or a plane about which a symmetry operation like a rotation, reflection or inversion is carried out in order to obtain an equivalent orientation or identical orientation of the molecule. Whereas symmetry operation is a movement such as an inversion about a point, a rotation along a line, or a reflection through a plane in order to get an equivalent orientation or identical orientation. To differentiate between equivalent and identical orientations, consider an example of water molecule and differentiate the hydrogen atoms with grey and yellow color. Initially, imagine the hydrogen atom with grey color on left hand side and hydrogen atom with yellow color on right hand side as shown in structure A. If we rotate this water molecule along an axis passing through the oxygen atom by 180 degree, the oxygen atom will remain on its place while the hydrogen atom will move to each other's position as shown in structure B. Here we can say that the structure B is equivalent to structure A but not identical because the hydrogen atom with grey color is in the place of hydrogen atom with yellow color and hydrogen atom with yellow color is in the place of hydrogen atom with grey color. But if we rotate the structure B once again by 180 degree along the same axis, both the hydrogen atoms will return back to their original positions as shown in structure C. By comparing structure A and C, we can say that the structure C is identical to structure A. In group theory, the symmetry operation is considered valid only if the structure attain an equivalent orientation or identical orientation after the application of a symmetry operation. That means that after the symmetry operation, all the atoms of the molecule must move to a position which was initially occupied by the same atom. Therefore, we can say that symmetry element is just a geometrical entity such as an axis, a plane or a center, whereas the symmetry operation is the actual movement like a rotation, reflection or inversion through the center. There are 5 types of symmetry elements which are identity, axis of symmetry, plane of symmetry, improper axis of symmetry and center of symmetry. Let us discuss them one by one. First symmetry element is identity, which is represented by E. Identity means doing nothing to the object, that is, we just imagine a molecule in a 3-dimensional space and nothing else. Alternatively, we may regard it as a 360-degree rotation about an axis, which also gives us the identical orientation of the molecule. Identity operations simply leave the body unchanged. We can assume it as assigning particular coordinates to a body in three-dimensional space. Axis of symmetry. It is represented by the symbol Cn. Axis of symmetry is a line passing through the molecule about which, when the molecule is rotated by 360° gives an equivalent orientation. This is an axis of n-fold symmetry or an axis of order n. Here n is the number of rotation which can be found out by dividing the angle of complete rotation, that is 360°, with the angle of rotation of the molecule. For example, imagine a water molecule in a three-dimensional space and assign x, y and z coordinates to it. This molecule can be rotated along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. If we rotate this molecule along z-axis, we will get the different orientation of the molecule. Here are some orientation which we will get after rotating the molecule along z-axis by 30°, 60°, 90°, 120°, 180° and 360°. Among these, only the rotation by 180° and 360° provide us with equivalent and identical orientations, as the hydrogen atom are at each other's place or move to their original place. In all other rotations, the hydrogen atoms are moved to different space coordinates, therefore do not provide us equivalent or identical orientations and are irrelevant. Here, for the rotation by 180°, the value of n is equal to 2, so we can call this as a C2 axis or a two-fold axis. For the 360° rotation, the n will be equal to 1, which gives us a C1 axis. But as we already discussed that a complete rotation of 360° is equal to identity, so we can call this as identity. If we consider the rotation of water molecule along x-axis and y-axis, we will get identical orientation after a complete 360° rotation, which are also equal to identity. Here the equivalent orientations are not possible, as all the atoms move to a different space coordinates for other degree of rotations. So we find out that water molecule has only a C2 axis of rotation along z-axis passing through the center of oxygen atom. Some molecules may contain more than one axis of rotation. For example, imagine tetrachloroplatinate ion and assign the three axes to this. Imagine the z-axis perpendicular to its molecular plane and x and y-axis along its platinum and chlorine bonds as shown here. It can be rotated along z-axis by 90° to get an equivalent orientation. This gives us the value of n equal to 4, so this is a C4 axis. To find out various equivalent and identical orientation for the rotation along this axis, let us mark one chlorine with red color. It can be rotated 1 time, 2 time and 3 time to get equivalent orientations and 4 time to get the identical one. Other type of rotations are also possible for this structure. The rotation of 180° along chlorine-platinum-chlorine bond produces equivalent orientation, in which two chlorine atoms move to each other's position and remaining 3 atoms rotate on their initial places. As the angle of this rotation is 180°, it is a C2 axis. Let's call it as a C2' axis. Another C2' axis along the other chlorine-platinum-chlorine bond also produces the same result. There is an possibility of other 180° rotation or C2 axis passing in between the two C2' axes, in which all the 4 chlorine atoms move from their initial position while only the platinum atom rotate on its own position. Let us call it as C2" axis. Another C2" axis can also be shown like this. So this ion contains 3 types of axes, which are C4, C2 dash and C2 double dash. Among these, one type of axis is called as principal axis and others are called as subsidiary axis. Before assigning principal axis to this ion, let us discuss some conditions to assign principal axis. First one is the only axis. That means if any molecule contain only one axis, as in case of water molecule, then the axis is called as principal axis. Second condition is the axis with highest order of rotation. Order of rotation is given by the value of n, so the axis with highest value of n is assigned as the principal axis. In third situation, if a molecule contain more than one axis of same order, then the axis which passes through the most number of atoms will be assigned as the principal axis. Last condition is if the molecule contain more than one axis of same order with same number of atoms, then the axis which is perpendicular to the molecular plane is considered as principal axis. One more rule to remember is that the z-axis is always assigned along the principal axis. That means the principal axis is selected first, then the direction of z-axis is assigned to the molecule along this. After the selection of principal axis, all the remaining axes are called as subsidiary axis. In tetrachloroplatinate ion, highest order axis is C4 axis, so it is called as the principal axis, and the C2 dash and C2 double dash axis are the subsidiary axis. Next symmetry element is the plane of symmetry, which is represented by the symbol sigma. As the name suggests, it is a plane passing through the center of the molecule which divides the molecule into two equal halves such that one half is the exact mirror image of the other half. To understand this, imagine a water molecule and assign the three coordinate axes to this molecule in such a way that the z-axis lies along the principal axis of the molecule, x-axis lie on the molecular plane, and y-axis is perpendicular to the molecular plane, that is xz plane. Here the yz plane, represented by the black dashed line passing through the center of the molecule, divide the water molecule in two equal halves, and after reflecting the water molecule through this plane, each of the hydrogen atom reflect to each other's place while the oxygen atom remain on its original place. The other plane, that is xz plane, which is represented by the white dashed rectangle, also passes through the center of the molecule and cut each atom in two halves, but they all remain at their original places. Here is the 3D representation of these symmetry planes for water molecules. The symmetry plane may be of three types: vertical planes represented by sigma v, dihedral planes represented by sigma d, and horizontal planes represented by sigma h. The planes which are parallel to principal axis are called as vertical planes. Dihedral planes are special kind of vertical planes which have to fulfill some criteria, which are: they should be parallel to principal axis, these must pass in between two perpendicular C2 axes, that is subsidiary axis, and they must contain minimum number of atoms or lesser number of atoms than other vertical planes. The horizontal planes are always perpendicular to principal axis. For example, there are two planes present in water molecule. As these planes are parallel to principal axis, these are vertical planes. Let us find out different kind of planes found in tetrachloroplatinate ion. Here is the topside view of the tetrachloroplatinate ion along with its subsidiary axis. If we look from z-axis, the square planar arrangement of the ion can be divided into two equal halves along chlorine-platinum-chlorine bond as shown by blue dashed lines. These planes are called as vertical planes as they are parallel to principal axis and are represented by sigma v. This ion can also be divided into two equal halves through the middle of each edge of the square planar arrangement, as shown by brownish lines. These planes are also parallel to principal axis but contain only one atom, that is central platinum atom, and also pass in between two subsidiary C2 axes. So these are called as dihedral planes, that is sigma d. There is an possibility of another plane lying on its molecular plane bisecting each of the atom in two equal halves, which is represented by the green color. As the principal axis passes through this plane at an angle of 90 degree, that means this plane is perpendicular to the principal axis, so it is called as horizontal plane or sigma h. Here is the three-dimensional representation of all symmetry planes present in this ion. One major point to remember while assigning these planes is that these should not be named just by looking their general vertical and horizontal position. These are assigned as vertical planes when they are parallel to principal axis and horizontal plane when they are perpendicular to the principal axis. Our next symmetry element is improper axis of rotation or improper axis of symmetry. Improper axis of rotation is an axis passing through the object about which when the object is rotated followed by a reflection in a perpendicular plane to the rotation axis produces an equivalent orientation. It is represented by the symbol Sn, where the n represents the order of rotation axis. It is also known as rotation reflection axis and is a combination of two symmetry elements, that is, rotation along an axis followed by the reflection through a perpendicular plane. Take staggered ethane for example and imagine a rotation axis passing through the center of the molecule along the carbon-carbon bond. Here is the 3D representation of the structure along with the principal axis. Let's call this as structure A. If we rotate this molecule by 60 degree, we will get the structure B. Now, if we reflect this molecule through a plane passing through the center of the molecule perpendicular to the principal axis or the axis of rotation, each half of the molecule will reflect on each other's position. That means the carbon on the back of the molecule will reflect on the front and the front carbon will reflect on the back carbon along with their hydrogen atoms, and we get the structure C, which is equivalent to initial structure A. So we can say that this molecule has an improper axis of symmetry. Here the angle of rotation is 60 degree, which gives us the value of n equal to 6. So this is an S6 axis. But we can find out that this molecule contains C3 axis as principal axis. So the question arises whether an S3 axis is possible for this molecule or not. To answer this, imagine the rotation of 120 degree along the principal axis of this molecule, as the angle of rotation of a S3 axis must be 120 degree. We get the equivalent structure D after this rotation. But after the reflection from a perpendicular plane, we get the structure E, in which although the carbon atoms are reflected on each other's place, but the position of hydrogen atoms on each carbon are inverted, and we can say that structure E is not equivalent nor identical to structure A. As the symmetry operations are considered valid only if they produce equivalent or identical orientations, here S3 axis is not possible. But it may be present in other molecules. Take phosphorus pentafluoride for example. This molecule have trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Here, 3 fluoride atoms lie on the equatorial plane having 120 degree angle between them, and 2 fluorine atoms are found at axial positions, one above and one below the plane, both at 90 degree angle with respect to plane. The principal axis can be imagined passing through these axial fluorine atoms through the center of the molecule. Call this as initial structure A and mark all the fluorine atoms with number. We can rotate this molecule along the principal axis by 120 degree so that axial fluorine and central phosphorus atom stay on their places, while the equatorial fluorine atoms rotate in the plane by 120 degree as shown in structure B. If we pass a plane perpendicular to this axis of rotation through the center of the molecule, it will reflect the fluorine atom on axial positions to each other's place as shown in structure C, which is equivalent to our initial structure A. So this molecule possesses an S3 axis. In general, for staggered molecules, the value of N for Sn will be twice than the value of N in Cn axis, and the molecule may contain S3, S4, S5 axis and so on, but not S1 and S2, because S1 axis will be equal to C1 rotation followed by sigma H reflections, but C1 means a rotation of 360 degree, which is equal to identity, so the net effect of S1 will be equal to sigma H, because the identity operator leaves the molecule unchanged. Similarly, S2 axis will be equal to a C2 rotation followed by sigma H reflection. To find out the net effect of this operation, imagine x, y, z coordinates in their positive and negative direction. After a C2 rotation along z axis, x and y coordinates will be rotated by 180 degree and z coordinate will retain its direction, which also changes after the reflection through a perpendicular plane as shown here. So all the three space coordinates will reverse their direction after S2 operation, and this change in the direction of all three space coordinates is equal to another symmetry operation, inversion, which we will discuss in the next symmetry element. Our last symmetry element is center of symmetry. It is represented by symbol I, which stands for inversion. It is a point in the molecule from which lines drawn to opposite directions will meet similar points at exactly same distance. For example, imagine a tetrachloroplatinate ion. It has a square planar geometry in which all the chlorine atoms lie on each corner of the square at equal distance from the central platinum atom. Now, if we draw a line from its center to a chlorine atom in one direction, we will find another chlorine atom at same distance in opposite direction. So this molecule possesses a center of symmetry. We can represent the effect of center of symmetry on this molecule like this. Here is the initial structure, and here it is after inversion. Note that all the chlorine atoms have been moved to opposite direction after the inversion. Some molecules, although look symmetrical, may not possess center of symmetry. Take phosphorus pentafluoride for example. In this molecule, two axial fluorine atoms are at same distance in opposite direction from the center of the molecule. But if we draw a line from any of the equatorial fluorine atom to the center of this molecule and extend it further, we will not find any fluorine atom in the opposite direction. So there is no center of symmetry for these atoms. Therefore, the molecule cannot undergo inversion and produce equivalent or identical structure. So this molecule does not possess center of symmetry. So this is all about symmetry elements. In the next video, we will learn how to find symmetry elements in different molecules and assign them to specific point groups. If you found this content useful, please like this video and share it with your friends. You can ask me about any query about this topic in comment section. And if you want to learn more about group theory, please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell icon to get the early notifications of more video on this topic. Thank you and see you next time.